All right, welcome guys to some coverage of the JackalOpen 2022. I am Maverick Robertson, joined by
Josiah Griffin.
and we are Joe Mav Pro. Round 1 and Round 2 are both going to take place the same day at the JackalOpen tournament, which is up in Laramie, Wyoming. I believe it's called Scotty's Park now, but it used to be called Spring Creek Park. A really fun little course. Pretty challenging in the tournament setting as well.
Yeah, and we got Justin Cournoyer from South Dakota up first on the box. And then kind of a new face.
Yes.
Connor Rock.
Someone we haven't seen before, but this guy is really good.
Really solid player. I think he's 1,000 rated,
Yeah.
1,000 plus rated. And you got the classic Tyler Liebman.
He loves dominating up in Wyoming. He always comes up here and
That's right.
gives them the business. Oh, nice. What else we got on here? Oh, we got Boothe. Got a couple Northern Colorado faces up here, as well as some out-of-states. This is a good mix of a card.
Yeah, and this is going to be a fun round to watch because this course can play pretty easy, and there's a lot of tough strokes to be had out here as well. And you got the Wyoming Cheyenne local, Dakota Turner.
Yeah, he's at a lot of the tournaments up in Wyoming. We play with him a lot when we come up here. Should be a good matchup with all these guys. Pretty perfect course conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Not that windy, a little hot, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. We got hole 1 to start. It's a 534-foot par 4. You got a lot of OB surrounding the basket and pretty much the entire fairway. So these guys are just kind of looking to placement on this hole.
I heard of a couple looks on this hole for eagle with some of the real big throwers, but you only need like a 300-foot little approach shot, and then it's a chip shot up there to get your birdie. The basket itself is protected by 3 trees, and the basket's kind of sitting in the middle of it, so that second shot is going to need some accuracy.
JC and Connor both just looking to kind of place it here.
Yeah, little placement shots. It looks like both of them through mids.
It's definitely a hole that most of these guys could reach if they really wanted to. But start of the tournament, they're all just looking to place it well, get up and down for the birdies.
There might be some more aggressive lines round 2, but for round 1, they're just looking to get their birdie and get their round going. Here's Boothe right here. Really good backhand and phenomenal sidearm. Excited to see how he plays with these younger guys. He could play Masters, but he usually hangs with us in Open. He beats us in Open.
Yeah. And surprisingly, the wind was really low today, too.
Yeah.
Usually you catch a lot of wind in Wyoming.
Pretty rare for Wyoming to be this calm. Like the leaves on the trees aren't even moving.
They all threw pretty solid shots. No one really pushed the OB too much, so these should be pretty routine up shots.
Probably a slammer for Tyler right here. It's a soft little hyzer. And there's one of those trees. It breeded a lot of straddle putts, those 3 little trees around that basket right there.
He left that one a little short, too, but it shouldn't be a problem for Tyler.
Boothe a little early.
Same exact tree.
Same tree. It rolls to the basket. So he's 5 feet out, so he'll be all right.
Fine. Dakota going to the tactic here, I would assume.
Yeah. He likes his tactic.
He does not like that. Little early release out of the hand.
Still pretty good.
He stays in bounds.
Yeah, maybe circle's edge.
Connor's in a pretty awesome spot here. This is exactly where you want to land on this hole if you're not running the eagle.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little standstill approach on a par 4. Goes a zone, hangs it out.
Yeah.
Little long, but should be just fine for him.
And Justin just a little further up.
Justin Cournoyer is a really good player. He gets a lot of travel experience as well. We see him in a multitude of different states, up in Nebraska, South Dakota,
Colorado.
He'll dip down here for some B tiers if they got some added cash. He's really quick to travel somewhere. I
Dakota
like playing
for
with
his
him.
birdie, just leaves it a little wide left.
Here's Connor for his birdie look.
He's a little further out than we thought.
I think he gave it a little run on that second shot.
It's a good putt. You're going to see a lot of those from this guy today. He's a sleeper.
Where's he from? Was it Vegas?
I'm not sure exactly.
We're gonna go to the analytics here. Oh, JC chaining out hard. He just splashed out so hard. That's a tough way to start your tournament, the first hole. Just get a mean splash out. His baskets are pretty solid too, so that was a surprising reaction.
Oh, Tyler just leaves that straddle short.
Tyler's
ceiling.
His straddle putt's a little more difficult than most just because of his very large frame. He's got to duck pretty low.
Confirmed Connor Rock is from Flagstaff, Arizona.
Oh, okay. So he's used to some elevation. Laramie's up maybe, 7,000 feet, something like that. So Flagstaff's also higher elevation, so not much change for him. I'm not sure how much he tours around, but I think he's traveling around hitting some B tiers, A tiers everywhere, similar to Justin.
And in round 1, hole 1 was birdied 50% of the time. So this is definitely one that a lot of these open players are getting.
Yeah.
Got 50-50 here, or just about 5-some. So we got 3 pars and 2 birdies from John and Connor.
You can call it 50-50 with JC's splash out. You hit the whole basket.
As well.
Yeah. All right, hole 2, a little bit more technical of a hole here. We got a Mando left of the light pole that is
about
going
halfway
down
up the
street.
fairway.
Yeah, halfway up the fairway.
The biggest miss you're going to see is right here. And you want to keep it right inside of there. Connor's is looking pretty good, just a little short.
This one, I feel like you just want to commit to going left of that pole, and usually it gives you like a circle's edge look on the left of the basket.
Boothe kept his up a little higher, but that's still going to be short.
This one's hard to push all the way there without hanging out wide on accident. I like this hole. I've seen some forehand plays on it as well, like a flex forehand. Could be an option.
I want to say JC's throwing a fuse, but it could be something a little faster. That's definitely something more overstable. Oh,
got caught by the last tree.
You're going to see a lot of these trees kind of guarding some of these baskets on these holes as well. That'll slow him up a little bit. And Tyler just leaving that low. He does not like that.
Yeah. It's kind of what happens. It's like a subconscious thing. You just don't want to open your body all the way up and accidentally pull it a little bit. That's a good shot. He likes it.
He likes that one.
I believe that's an origin.
Stay up. It's pretty good.
Well, circle's edge short. I think that's CTP, though.
And this is one of the shorter holes on the course, but it is a little more technical. You only got 25% birdie on this hole for round 1.
Tyler pitching up, taking 3. No harm done there. If Connor gets a long one to get his round going. Good bid. Boothe from like 45, maybe 50.
This is right in his wheelhouse, though.
Yes.
We don't see him miss these very often.
Boothe don't miss much. And that's why.
That's exactly
just
it.
drops
right
the bomb just to start.
Ooh, get the replay on that.
Get the replay going. I like that.
So smooth and buttery. You're going to see this all day, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, couldn't have been more dead center. That's a good start for him.
Birdie start. That's exactly what you could ask for in a tournament.
Dakota, a little circle's edge look downhill. Just looking to put it on the pole here. Oh, a little short.
Just leaves it a little short. That's a bummer after a pretty solid drive there, too.
Well, JC was pretty close. Looks like he kicked out of that tree, too.
Yeah.
Good putt for JC.
Some solid birdies there. You don't see this hole get birdied too often.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tougher one to reach.
It was one of the harder holes playing through round 1. Just slightly under par.
And now, yeah.
So a couple tap-ins for these guys. Get on to the next one. Hole 3 is a really fun hole to play. I like it a lot.
Yeah, hole 3 is pretty solid. We're gonna enjoy this one.
It's one of those risk-reward kind of par 4s.
A couple good birdies there from Justin and John.
Yeah. John taking off 2 through 2.
Hole 3 is playing as the most birdied hole in round 1, 60% birdie. It is a par 4, but there are some risk rewards for it. Mm-hmm. There's the obvious play is kind of a layup shot before this pond here. But some of these guys have the power to get there. You could throw the hyzer, or you could kind of risk it over the pond.
Looks like John's warming up that sidearm, and he's throwing a grace. You think he's going over? He's going for the green right here?
He might be. I mean, and he can play that out right as much as he wants to.
I believe the front of the water is somewhere around 225, kind of where that sign is out there. And the basket's directly behind that sign. But you can pitch out way right.
Oh, he's going
John's
for it.
going for
He
it.
cranked
Turned it
that,
over.
though.
Yeah,
And that's the bad miss right there. Especially if you're trying to get over with the forehand.
Yeah, that's well OB. And there is a OB line up by the basket. The tree that's to the left of the basket, there's an OB line running there. So if you want to cross in, you really got to get over.
JC looks like he's going for it too.
That's
Just
not flipping enough.
does not have enough turn on that.
It gets well over, but there is an OB line there, and he didn't cross in. So both John and JC are going to be throwing for 3 from this side of the pond. Let's see if Connor can make the adjustment here.
He's definitely going for it as well.
That looks like a 7-speed. He hit the branch?
Hits the first tree, but it still looks really good.
Go. Oh my gosh. He hit
the pole.
He hit the first tree off the tee and hit the pole on a par
He had a
4.
lot of power on that.
It looked like a T-bird.
And there's the play that a lot of people will be taking. It's just a layup.
Just a little pitch up 200 feet, and then it's another exact same 200-foot pitch up shot. You take a free birdie, essentially. And Dakota's going with that wide right play.
He takes it a little tight.
Oh.
And that's the miss for playing it wide right, because there's a lot of open space over there. There's not much OB until you go super long.
There's a great shot right there. Oh, look at where Connor is. He did hit the pole.
I think he hit the pole.
Well, he's going to take an eagle here.
And John throwing from where he crossed out of bounds. Kind of one of those unfortunate shots. You don't want to lose a stroke on this hole unless it's to an eagle.
Yeah, you really want to 3 this hole. Unless you're going for it. That's what that risk reward is about.
JC's taking it a little closer to the water here.
I'm surprised he didn't pull it back a little bit with the new PGA rules. You could take it back as far as you want, but
he's got that smooth standstill.
Oh!
Hits the basket.
It hits the cage. Almost saves birdie. Nice.
Nice replay on that.
I like JC's form. His gameplay is so fun to watch. Oh, yeah. That's some good slow-mo right there. Bink.
I think we forgot to mention, this coverage is filmed by Shy Ride.
Mm-hmm.
Go check them out on YouTube. They have some pretty awesome coverages. They film a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, Dale and Missy out there on the course. This is a good day for them to film. I think the last one they filmed was that insane windy round, but they get a lot of coverage up in northern Colorado and in the Wyoming area.
You got Boothe looking to save his par here.
Yeah, a little longer than he wants for a par save.
And Boothe don't miss.
Boothe don't miss.
That's what we say a lot, and it's become a staple in his game because he doesn't miss.
Yeah, he's really good at putting. Been fun to watch.
Tyler with the nice birdie there.
Easy birdie. Didn't have to work too hard for that one.
And we still have not gotten to Connor's shot.
Connor is still CTP. That's sweet. Oh.
Ooh.
Little par cleanup for him. Dakota's looking to clean up a par as well.
After hitting the first tree, too, that is just an incredible shot. Made it look easy. And confirmed Connor Rock with the only eagle on round 1 on this hole.
In MPO, at least.
Yeah.
So that's a good eagle. Bouncing right back. It's going to be 3 down through 3. Back to the perfect start. And now we're on.
He didn't even miss a beat.
Yeah, it's like he didn't miss anything. So now we're on to hole 4. Pretty fun shot, honestly. It's kind of like a field goal setup out there. 2 really big trees, and the basket's just right in between both of them. The OB lines are pretty tight up on the green. I would say around circle's edge, left and right, and long.
You definitely can get up there and be very surprised to be out of bounds.
Yeah.
Because you're just on the edge of the circle.
Yeah, and you see a lot of hyzer plays that kind of dump just short of... Ooh,
And that's one of those right there. Connor threw a really good shot. It just leaked left, and there's that tight OB right up by the basket.
I do like the hyzer play to just dump in front of that tree on the right if you're a righty thrower.
Tyler going
Tyler
with his felon, which should just die right by the basket. He catches that tree, but that's perfect.
That's how you play it.
You should be able to clean that up easily.
366. It was playing a little uphill. It's probably closer to 375 is what it was feeling like. But pretty stock hyzer for a lot of the MPO field.
Boothe leaving it a little short.
Circle's
Pretty
edge.
confident he'll make
Pretty
that,
good
though.
at that range.
He makes those.
I wonder what JC's doing here. Oh, looks like a
fairway.
orbit felon.
Yeah.
Probably something like that. A little low.
He leaves it low, but he's looking for that skip. And he does get a little bit, but he leaves it short as well.
It was decently skippy out at this course for these 2 rounds. Dakota going Royal Rage 2. Vapor Instinct. Should hyzer back. It's got a good amount of glide as well. Kinda early release, but it popped up flat pretty good.
And that's pushing that OB. It looks like he barely stayed safe there.
It's safe. He knew just barely, but that's going to be a tough putt from under those branches.
All right, Justin the farthest out.
40? Maybe 50?
Just left it a little short.
Little stepper.
Doesn't like that one.
No. Oh, yeah. That's going to be a tough
from a
putt.
knee. Probably took his meter, gave himself a little bit more room under there.
Yeah, hopefully he can spin it. Those branches said no thank you. Boothe circles edge. I like his chances. Is he still putting with P3X or is it pure now?
I think he bounces around a little bit.
Okay. Bam. Oh, didn't get it there. Didn't fully commit to that one. I guess Boothe does miss on occasion, but not often.
There's Connor for his par save.
Ooh.
Oh. It was a little high.
Gets a replay.
Oh.
Gets the no shy.
You're gonna get these. You're gonna get these on these baskets.
Oof.
Every now and then.
That putt was definitely high, but it could have caught. But it was high. Tyler to get a little bit of a swing back towards his side on this hole.
Yeah, that's a good birdie from Tyler.
Yeah, he's cruising along now.
And you kind of be surprised. This hole is only birdied 40% of the time. It's pretty wide open, but I think it's because of that OB.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of players are going to be catching that and coming up short as well, as you saw from Justin.
How many people do we have in open? Looks like we had 20 players in open for this tournament, so cash line, it's going to be about 8 people, depending on ties. And I think, honestly, anyone on this card is going to be in contention for at least cash, and probably someone out of these groups is going to be the winner as well. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty stacked feature card.
A few pars, 1 bogey, and a birdie on that hole. Kind of surprising from this feature card.
Not bad, though.
Hole 5, if you remember this from any previous tournaments, it's playing a little tighter than normal. Usually they have this whole path safe, and then beyond the path would be OB.
Oh, really?
But the OB line is actually starting at the beginning of the path, so it's a little tight up by the basket. You're going to see a lot of forehands, as Tyler's throwing right now.
Yeah, I like the forehand play. Oh, great roll.
Gets a nice roll.
Stop rolling. Oh, that's such a good
Another
roll.
felon shot. We're going to be seeing Tyler throw that felon a lot today.
Yeah, it's a lot of placement little hyzers. Want to limit the ground play as much as you can, and that's a good way to do it with an overstable disc like that. Boothe with the sidearm. He's throwing a driver. Pretty surprised for his arm speed. Let's see if that catches. Does not. That one goes OB right, but it looks like it was right by the basket, so he should be okay with a 3 look. Justin, he doesn't throw sidearms too much, does he?
He has it.
Okay.
I think it's kind of one of those utility shots for him. But he has a solid forehand when he needs it.
He just has such a good touch backhand that he leans on that a little bit more.
That's a good shot.
Beats that last tree in the way. That should give him a real open look. Dakota going thumber.
Is that a splice thumber?
Yeah, primal splice thumber.
All right, I'm excited to see what this
You gotta
does.
be careful with these splices. They go really far when they're upside down. See if you can get the distance gauged. Pretty
It's coming out
good.
fast. It's got to get down.
Cut left.
Yeah.
Cut left. Ah, didn't get that trickle back left that the thumber likes to do.
And that out of bounds is only 20 feet from the basket, maybe
Yeah.
less.
I'm curious as to where they spot him for that. They might get him pretty close to the basket, but we'll see. Connor with the little forehand here.
Yeah, and that's going to be the shot you see the most in this hole. 3 forehands, a thumber, and a backhand.
Mm-hmm.
Giving Coda just inside circle, it looks like.
Yeah, let's see if you can save a par here. Oh, just didn't give it. Just didn't give it enough. Haven't seen him connect yet.
He hasn't really been committing to his putts quite yet.
Mm-hmm. Looks like he's going pretty quick.
JC with a nice birdie there.
Man, he was second farthest out. These guys are all over this
I
basket.
think he threw a Cenis
Ooh,
off the tee there.
the old thumb or the thumb pad. Disc.
Pretty sure that's what he threw. Connor with a nice birdie. That stock forehand shot. This hole was only birdied 35% of the time in round 1.
It's surprising. It's less than the last hole.
It
Only
is, but I
270.
guarantee you it's a lot of people catching this OB.
Yeah, a lot of par saves. Tyler with the nice 2. He is rolling early. It's good to see. He's got to be one of the favorites at this tournament.
All right, Coda cleans up the bogey with that unfortunate OB. I do like the thumber play, though. It takes guts. The lonely bogey is Coda, 3 birdies, and then Boothe with the par.
Looking pretty good. The 4 of them are doing what they should. Coda's looking to get it rolling here. He's definitely got the opportunities. A lot of birdies on this course.
Moving on to hole 6. It's another par 4, but you do have to hit a gap, and you do have to make a mando.
Yeah.
There are some trees that will definitely block you from getting into the position you want to be. You're going to see these guys taking probably mostly wide hyzers here.
Oh.
Tyler takes that tight.
Ooh. Let's see if that sits down.
Wow.
Is
That's
that safe?
Yep. So that OB line kind of cuts off right by that sidewalk, and then it starts again past it. So he got past the sidewalk.
Interesting.
He's in the right spot. JC throwing the shot a little more how you should.
Yeah, that's little
Gets
little
to skip
path.
off. That's nice.
That's a great spot.
That's exactly where you want to land here.
You can almost just throw a hyzer over the top of that tree on the right. Just mega. Okay. That's
Connor
huge.
Throwing that. Why? That's tight. It's really tight.
That might not be good. That is not good.
That is in the water, I believe. That was really high.
It's pretty stock hyzer here, especially going down that right side. I saw some people trying to hit the smaller gap to the left of the big gap that John's going down right here. See if he can beat the tree.
He's fighting that tree.
Gets through
He
it.
gets through it.
So that pretty good upshot. How far is this one? 588? Pretty long distance. I mean, if you throw a decent hyzer, you probably got about 250, 275 into the pin. Ooh, Coda. Get through it. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good shot. That's where you want
a
to
great
be.
spot to land.
Mhm.
The further left you are, the closer you are to the basket, but the right is just a lot safer of a play. You have a wide fairway once you get past those trees.
And there is some OB up by the basket if you go a little long left, long right even. I'd say it's like 40 feet behind the basket, so just got to keep that in mind on your second shot, but it shouldn't be a problem.
He's leaving that a little short. It's definitely in his range.
Oh, it looks like the desert out there in the screen in this shot. It was pretty warm out there, but not too bad, honestly.
Justin throwing a really good shot there. That should be just fine.
This was safe. Look how close to the line he was.
It was unorthodox, but it made his upshot way easier.
Yeah, it did. That should be just fine, leaving him 15, 20 feet. Connor about the same spot as Tyler. He's throwing 3 instead of 2. Pitch up the forehand.
A little short, but
little
that should be
short.
fine.
And Coda's almost got a putt. He's like 150. Soft
Just
little
got a
toss.
drop.
Yep.
Good shot there. It's a little short, actually, I think. I don't think he liked it too much.
That's all right. He's close enough.
John in a little tester range, but he makes these a lot.
I believe the orange one is his P3X and the blue is the pure.
Oh.
I hit a lot of chains. Come on, catch.
Oh.
Wow, that just bounced off of their left side. See if Connor can save the par here. It looks like he is pretty short from where he was throwing his last shot.
Oh, beautiful putt there.
Putt.
That's an awesome save from
He's
Connor.
got a pretty lofty putt right there. I didn't know he
center.
does the little dunker like that. Good putt. Gets out of there. No bogey.
Dakota did leave himself a little bit for his birdie. Let's see if he
commit.
can connect here.
Oh, just give it to him.
Oh, that's such
High
a
right
tough one
side.
to watch.
Honestly, both of those putts could have caught, but
From the start of his round, he really needed that.
Yeah.
For the momentum, for the confidence. Got JC coming back for birdie here.
I like his putting routine a lot.
Ooh. Some scary putts.
His
that
baskets are trying to be sketchy, but
they're solid. They're
good
solid
baskets.
putts.
Yeah. Mock threes, right? Something like that.
Tyler looking to clean up his birdie.
I'm always so curious about how he putts. Just being so tall, you know? Like, your point of release has to be so low for your body.
Especially on a lower basket.
Yeah. Couple tap-ins for par
Couple
there.
pars.
Couple chain-out pars.
And only 2 birdies from the feature card.
Surprising.
This hole was birdied 50% of the time, playing half a stroke under par.
Yeah, one of the easier holes we're playing today.
But there's definitely some trouble to be had, especially, you know, for like Connor's shot. If you keep it too high, it's going to drift left.
Is this the bridge hole right here?
Yeah, moving on
Double
to
Mando.
hole 7. There's a double Mando. You got to just miss these 2 trees, and it's pretty wide open. But the basket is pretty surrounded. If you go long, your chances of going out of bounds are pretty high.
Yeah, and going left is a pretty steep fall off down there.
You do want to keep it right,
Slide.
because that slope will filter you straight into the out of bounds.
All right, that's pretty good. Tyler kind of scooted one up there, a little bit shorter than he wanted. Sometimes you'll see people just play the bridge behind it and just knock back towards the basket.
JC throwing his Cenis again. Beautiful shot.
Great shot.
He throws that thing so well.
Surprised he kind of threw more of a hyzer line than like a putter right at it. He went low under that branch.
Taking it wide right is definitely a better play, though.
I like the sidearm here. That keeps the disc under these branches a little bit easier.
And it keeps it far away from that hill.
Okay.
Yep. Beautiful shot there from Connor.
It's kind of scary with that OB on the right side throwing a forehand.
John with the kiss on the disc.
I like that. Ooh.
And a rope.
And just the ace
Hold
line.
it.
Get some. Sit. Oh, and that's that drop-off I was talking about.
It is the drop-off, but he didn't quite get to the creek, so he should be safe
Yeah,
down
he's
there.
going to be safe, but it's a challenging putt. I believe this is an origin from Dakota.
Yeah, did he make the... He made the Mando, it looks like, still. He just hit the tree. Okay.
Really?
That's
The O-
fortunate there, honestly.
The OB line hadn't started yet.
Oh, man. He was cut off by that branch. Still
I see no OB
safe
graphic.
down there.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's hanging on. Oh, that's picturesque.
That's going to be a tough putt from him down there. He's got that tree right in his way.
They're down there talking about it. Should have snapped some pictures, too. That was picturesque with the little waterfall. See if Dakota can save a roller coaster of a par here.
Oh.
See. Okay, alright. Didn't roll. Could have been more tragic. Tyler with the longer birdie putt here.
I would consider this a death putt, because if you go down there left, your chances of staying safe are pretty low. Ooh.
Oh!
Just sneaks it in. We like that.
Barely hit a chain. Couldn't pick up his disc. He'll take the birdie. He'll move on. Oh, he's pretty close. He's still pin high right here. And Booth's tall as hell, too, so he'll be alright. Good 2 for John. You got Connor just tapping in. He had a really good forehand. Ooh. Kind of cruising along. No fireworks yet. No one's really shredding, but they're kind of doing what they're supposed to do to stay in the mix for these 2 rounds today.
Hole 7 also playing about half a stroke under par. 50% birdied in hole 1. It's a pretty point and shoot shot, so I mean, you're going to catch some bogeys every now and then. Dakota had a wild hole there.
It's like Tyler's 5 down through 7. That is a really good start. A couple 4s and John at 3. Dakota looking to get back in the green numbers.
I'm feeling for Dakota right now. This is a tough start for him. He's had some really good shots and just some unfortunate plays there.
Back 9's scoreable too, so he's going to be all right. But on to hole 8. This is a tight one here.
There's quite a few different options you can throw. You can play that left side, which is very risky. Tyler's going to play that safe play, the hyzer over the right side. Ooh. Okay, that's
should be
safe still.
Yeah, there's an OB line behind this basket, probably about 40 feet. JC going thumber. Interesting. I also threw this line, but it's kind of hard to stick the green. Enforcer thumber? I didn't know he had that in the bag.
That looked more like a tomahawk almost.
That was a thumber. Hangs it out a little right. This is a pretty guarded basket. There's some small little scraggly trees that'll get in your way. Even at 15 feet, you can be kind of in a tough spot with the straddle. And Connor's throwing a zone here. That's swinging back pretty good. It's caught by the tree. It's going to be a testy putt.
John looking to play the exact same line.
Spike hyzer.
Looking to correct a little bit, keep it a little shorter, and he did.
Ooh, that's a great
perfect
shot.
Those guys just kept it a little too outside, a little long.
Dakota going with the splice right here.
Takes
That thing's
it
all
wide.
That disc is all tagged up with some signatures.
Uh-oh.
Oh, goes too long.
It's kind of like what Tyler did as well, but Tyler barely stayed in.
Oh, that's a tough spot to throw a 3. Pretty soft approach here. Sit down.
He just kind of early released that. The tree caught it there.
Probably a good tree.
Might have been fortunate for him.
Might have gone down the hill. This would be a good putt to connect on. Little stepper. Oh! Just need about 2 inches higher. It was really good. Little straddle from Connor here. Oh, ooh. Hopefully that didn't go too far down that ditch.
Tyler's tight in there.
And there's the big man under a tree.
Surprisingly, but also not surprisingly, hole 8's playing
over par.
A little bit over par. Only 30% birdied.
It's the hardest hole on the front 9. Score-wise, that's pretty nuts.
For only being 270 feet.
I think it's because that OB line's pretty tight on the back, especially when you're throwing that big hyzer. You might push it just a little too long, like a couple guys did. Oh, Connor. With a little 2 putt. Looks like he did go down that hill a good ways.
Boothe with a beautiful birdie.
Tapping birdie. Taking a couple strokes on the card right there. Huh. I'm so surprised this is one of the harder holes on the front. The only hole to play over par on the front for the MPO field so far.
There is a direct line at the basket, but it is such a tough shot to execute. And that's why you saw a lot of these guys just throwing hyzers.
Looks like we missed one shot at Coda's. He's tapping in a double, so I don't think he made that 30-footer from the tree in the screen right there.
Bounds.
Yeah, but he pitched up and then missed another one. So that was a tap in for 5 for Coda right there. Good 2 for Boothe. Gets him a little bit back in the mix. A little closer to Tyler. And hole 9. This is a funky one. We just call this the Creek Meta Island hole. I like that Jake guy. He's fun. He's a good positivity. It's nice he sponsored this hole too.
This hole is a little tricky. It's almost playing as an island, but there is a safe spot you can lay up right where Boothe is going right there.
It's like Boothe kind of just pitched to the drop zone.
That's right where the drop zone is.
Maybe he didn't quite turn his putter enough. but it might have been a strategic play. I definitely saw one or two guys just pitch up to the left side and not challenge the green over where the basket is.
That's what Tyler's doing. He throws slammer. It looks like he didn't put enough on that. Maybe he was trying to lay up. I wouldn't assume that was his idea.
I'm surprised neither of them threw a sidearm. It's
JC
only 270.
Going back to the Cenis.
There's a committed line.
It looks really good, but it's got to sit.
Sit.
Oh.
Oh!
That's back in. That's
No
it.
way!
Off of the gazebo. Wow.
That's so lucky. Because if he goes out of bounds, he goes to the drop zone.
Mm-hmm.
For like a 50, 60 footer. There's the sidearm play. This is the play I like.
Yep,
And
and
that's
he
great.
just gets over that.
Is that the CTP flag? Someone was parked. Dakota can pop that origin over there. I like
looks
that
a
line.
really good shot.
Just
As
can't
long
be too
as it
far.
sits.
Sit. Oh, yeah. There you go.
All right, barely staying in there.
Got some guys hanging on the edge right now.
Tyler just kind of pitching that one up. That's a tough putt from back there. And Boothe is right at the drop zone here.
Mm-hmm. Probably about a 50-footer.
Make?
He's due. Bam.
Oof.
Oh, it's a good run.
It's always a 50-50 outside of 50 for Boothe.
There you go. There's
There
a
you
good
go,
putt
Coda.
from Coda.
You definitely needed that one.
Yeah, he's on the board now. JC, same spot.
Very
Just-
similar putt.
Just an incredible kick back and bounce, honestly.
And he does
He
capitalize on
takes
that.
advantage. Bonus birdie. I think Connor's pretty close. Yeah. We'll tap in for him. Take the bird.
And even with the tight OB, this hole averaging 60% birdie in the round one. Pretty solid. This is a tough hole. I mean, it's very direct, very point and shoot, but...
Yeah, that's a lot of birdies if two guys on the lead card are kind of pitching up.
Mm-hmm.
That'll work. And that was our front nine at the JackalOpen so far in round one. Pretty good scores. Couple 5 downs, couple 4 downs. Coda's looking to attack this back nine.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and come back for round 2. This is Joe Mav Pro.
Make sure you subscribe to Shy Ride. Thanks, guys.